What's up, everybody? Sean Designs back again with another video, and this one I like to call Upstairs Fifth Flow. So let's get it started. Now this is actually the second version of this character I'm doing. The original one I did was a cartoon, so this one I wanted to go a little more realistic. So that's bringing us where we are right now. Now if you don't recognize this character, this is Man from the show Martin. Martin by far is my favorite show of all time. You know, he had some of the best characters on TV I've ever seen. The comedy was always on point, and it just was an all-around complete show. You know, I was a kid when I watched it, but the stuff that was in it stuck with me forever. Even now I go back and look at reruns and I just laugh at it like it's brand new, like I never saw it before. You know, so Martin had a lot of original characters that he played himself. Man was one of the first characters that stole the show that Martin didn't play. And I have a bunch of Martin pieces that I've done over the years. I believe I did a Jerome, I did Shanae, I did Roscoe. I did a bunch of Martin characters, you know, that he played. This is the first one I've drawn from his show that wasn't him. So I chose to do Man because he just stood out. You know, him and Hustle Man are like imprinted in my brain as far as comedy when it comes to Martin's show. And when I decided I wanted to draw Man, I wanted to capture him in his original form, right? The first time we ever saw him was on a Fight Party episode of Martin. If you don't know, Martin had a fight party. He invited a bunch of people over. Man was one of those people. And he just was at the party being extra disrespectful, going into the refrigerator, taking his shoes off, putting on Martin clothes, just bugging out. So in the original episode, he put on Martin's shirt. So if you look at the previous drawing I did of this, he has on Martin's green shirt. So when I wanted to do him again, I wanted to draw the iconic small jacket thing that he always does. Every time you saw Man, he always had on a little jacket, you know, and it was Martin's jacket. So I wanted to capture that in the drawing. And as I stated before, I like to start with a red pencil, but this particular piece I went straight with black. Because I knew I was going to do a black and white piece, you know, I was going to have a lot of grays and stuff in there. The black didn't really bother me as much. But normally I would do a red pencil to start with. And you're going to see me change the background a number of times in this piece. You know, I don't like to use a white background when I'm drawing because it's a little bit distracting. So I always drop it to a gray. Most of the time I'm not going to stick with the gray, but I put it in there just as a placeholder until I figure out what I'm going to do. Another thing that I don't think I mentioned before, whenever you're doing shading, it's always good to use the color of the tone that you're trying to get. For example, if you're doing a piece and you want it to be a cooler piece, you know, like say you're drawing something, somebody standing in the winter time outside, your shade is going to be a blue because blue is cooler. You know, so what you would do is you would get that blue, paint your shadows, change the layer to multiply, and drop the opacity, so all of the shadows are going to look a little cooler. Now, if you wanted to draw somebody standing outside in the summertime when it's hot, you're going to use a red or a shade of red. The same applies. You take a red, paint your shadows, drop the opacity, change that layer to multiply, you know, and then you're going to have something that looks a little more warm. This piece, I wanted to keep it cool. I didn't want too many warm colors. I kept everything kind of cooler tones, you know, your grays, your blues. You're going to see the background in the final piece is like a grayish blue. It has a gradient on it. You know, I just thought a cool shadow would look better than a warm shadow on this particular piece. And another thing I like to do, I always like to add a noise on top of my piece. When I'm happy with how it's looking and I'm finalizing it, I make a new layer on top of everything. I fill that layer with white. This is in Procreate, but you can do that in Photoshop or whatever other drawing software you use. So you will make a white layer, put a noise filter on that white layer, change that layer to multiply, and then drop the opacity. When you're dropping the opacity, it's adjusting the intensity of the noise. So a real low opacity is gonna have a light noise, and obviously a high opacity is gonna have a high noise. I like to keep mine in the middle somewhere. So it's a little bit of grain, but not that much. Just give you a hint of something. And also, this is an older show, so I added a noise filter to kind of make it kind of look like an old TV almost, you know? At least that's what my mind was thinking when I put it on there. And another thing with white, I don't usually like to use white for a highlight because white is just distracting to me. You know, I don't feel like anything in the world is 100% white, so I don't normally use white. As you can see with the eyes, it's like a yellowish. The yellow in his eyes matches the yellowish beige in his jacket. But in this particular instance, white worked, you know? And as I say in my other pieces, you want your eye to flow through the piece. So use a lot of the colors. If you already have a color in your image, use that color somewhere else, because it's gonna make your eye gravitate towards that color, and it makes you flow through the piece instead of just looking at one part and then looking at another part of the image. Your eye wants to travel through the image because all of the colors are, you know, matching. Everything is the same. So here's the final piece. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if so, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any questions, drop a comment in the section below. My name is Dashawn Designs, and you can find me on all social media at Dashawn Designs. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Peace.